Hi, this is Marina from Dance Star Astrology, bringing you the Cancer 2020 horoscope. So these are just the highlights from the whole ebook, and you can get the ebook on the website. So what have you got in store? Now, the planetary heavyweights are congregating in your 7th house of marriage, and that means those of you who are single should be able to find a suitable mate during 2020. And with all that energy concentrated in that zone, you should be able to magnetize the perfect relationship into your orbit. Okay, it won't be perfect in the beginning, but you should be able to chisel it into something workable over the next year. With Saturn in your 7th, any romantic union is for the long haul. Usually with Saturn in the house of marriage, there's a tendency to think that relationships are thin on the ground or that any new connections are doomed. But this really doesn't have to be the case, as there are far more opportunities for you with Jupiter balancing Saturn nicely over the year ahead. By the time Jupiter finishes its year-long blessing, you will have Saturn finishing his testing. So in fact, the two leave hand in hand at the end of the year. So Jupiter conjunct Pluto could bring wealth and power to an established relationship when they form this punchy conjunction in your marriage house, as I said. Those who are single will find they are attracted to partners of high status. And if you happen to be one of the richer classes, then you might attract gold diggers though. Dress down and don't wear the family gold reserves on the first date if you want to filter out those magpies. Relationships of all kinds will be transformed, detoxed and put through Olympian obstacle courses, but there's also the gold trophy at the end, so never forget that. Another possibility is that you'll get all sorts of offers to merge or collaborate this year, and it will be impossible to accept all of them. That means you're going to have to learn discernment and be very choosy who you spend your time with. So your keywords, Cancer, this year are relationship trophies, powerful collaborations, wealthy partners, beware the gold digger, hydrating holidays, wisdom from travel, marital testings, committed romance, mature unions, ethical dilemmas, and meeting your nemesis. So the transits of Saturn, Jupiter, Ceres and Lilith now, just a quick taster. So Saturn for you is your challenges, and as you know, it's entered your house of relationships, and this is a major transition house where Saturn ascends to out of the inner zone of your chart and over the horizon. It's time to test how well you hold yourself when confronted with the needs of others. So the Saturn conjunct Pluto on January the 12th is the first big test of the year. The psychic vision of the FBI comes in and investigates all the past crimes and misdemeanors of your romantic past. If you've been a saint or it has been others that have abused your good nature, then you are in the clear. So looking at Jupiter for you, this is your blessings and growth. Traveling alongside Saturn in your marriage house, Jupiter does this practically all year, which really helps you buffer against Saturn's tendency to be over serious and melancholic about affairs of the heart. This way you'll get the best of both worlds. That is, unless you really have not been living in the real world and acting dishonorably in relationships. In that case, Saturn could exaggerate Saturn's punishments also. Nature does not reward bad behavior as a rule. With nature and with Saturn, that's what you get. Add Jupiter and you will get whatever that is in spades. What can I say? So Ceres and Lilith for Cancer, your magic and healing this year. So on January the 13th, just be careful not to ruin a perfectly good relationship by being tempted by the charms of a rogue, because Ceres is going to be conjunct Pluto. With Black Moon Lilith, for the majority of the year, it will be in Aries, which adds more fuel to your needing to be in a position you feel passionate about. How much is the material benefit worth compared to feeding your soul and being of service to others? Are you a team player, or are you starting to feel a little exiled from the rest of your colleagues? So that's 10th house stuff for you. With Mars and Venus, they are both retrograde this year. So the Venus retrograde will take place in your house of mysticism and self-undoing. So make sure one of your relationship challenges is not due to your own self-sabotaging. You may have to try very, very hard to resist some forbidden fruit in the shape of an ex. And Venus retrograde also has the habit of dredging up old paramours that we never quite got over either. So anyway, chances are they will come back to see if you will drop everything for them. So just don't fall for it. Mars retrograde is powerful and ambitious in Aries, and this works fantastically for you in your career zone. This will help you take your mind off that seductive ex or any other forbidden naughtiness. Go out and hunt business partners and clients rather than bedroom romps. This will make the likelihood of finding a hugely wealthy patron all the more possible, while Jupiter is conjunct Pluto in your collaboration zone. Mars will also square you during this time, so it can feel a bit edgy and tense occasionally. So let's look at the decans, because I've done that this year for you, and this will just be some of the highlights for Cancer. So Cancer Decan 1, that's June the 21st to July the 1st. You get the sextile from Uranus on and off, the Saturn quincunx on and off, and the Jupiter opposition on and off. Actually, no, just at the beginning. And then the Saturn, the solar eclipse conjunction as well. So it's a bit of a patchy year when it comes to the outer planets for Decan 1, but make the most of Jupiter opposing from your marriage house in the first 2 weeks of the year. Try and hint at a proposal if that's what you're after, if it hasn't already happened. With the Uranus sextile, anything could materialize, and it still has the power to bring surprises into your life. It's a very mild aspect, and it doesn't really have the oomph of the trine, but still it's enough to create a little spice. So use it to be daring, do new things, and connect with like-minded people over the internet. With Cancer Decan 2, that's birthdays July the 1st to the 12th, you get the Neptune trine, the Uranus sextile, the Jupiter opposition, and the lunar eclipse opposition. And this is a great year for you. So much going on romantically that you'll be spoilt for choice. Summer is a particularly enjoyable time as the lunar eclipse reboots, works in your favor, igniting all the outer planet dreams into reality. This can be a wonderfully positive time where you can collaborate with benefactors. You attract generous, fun and expansive people into your life, and mostly this is from your travels. The more you get out into the world, the more you can make the most of this blossoming energy. So for Cancer Decan 3, you get so much going on. Pluto opposition, Neptune trine, Saturn opposition, Jupiter opposition, and the lunar eclipse square. Bingo! It's a full house for you this year. But the root of the huge transformation is either a marriage or a divorce. A soulmate type relationship will affect you profoundly this year, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the person will be a spouse or a romantic partner. This is also the house of open enemies, so you could be goaded into the fight of your life. It may be a custody battle or a business takeover, but it will test your integrity and honesty in your war for survival. So those are just the highlights of your decans. Come to the website, get the ebook. It's 5,000 words, totally worth it. $3.95 American dollars for the whole thing. And that's it. Okay, thanks for listening. All the best. Bye-bye.